feeding and allowance and everything. And then this woman goes to the market and notices that what she spent so amount x amount of money doing last month wasn't it this month, and she's afraid to even ask the man because she knows the man's pocket. Actually, she knows that the income stays. So what do women do in this when they find themselves in this kind of dilemma?
Okay.
Yes.
So the first and foremost thing is that you have to be able to know what your needs are, what your wants are, and what your desires are. That would actually help you be able to, for lack of a better word, set the plan. And then wants actually are not needs. So you need to start doing the law of elimination. Eliminate the excesses, eliminate the wants, and then try as much as possible to focus on the needs. But then again, we're talking of having extra income coming.
Yeah.
And that is where again we go back to the preconceived notion of what money is for you.
Okay.
Because if you're saying you want to basically, and you said it before we started the show, or was it when we started the show? You said something about the demands are getting more, but the income is still stable. So one of the solutions out of this is actually to get more income, right?
Yes.
More inflow.
More to even manage, not even more now, to manage what you have.
Okay, yeah, the first thing to manage is the law of elimination. After you do the law of elimination, then you think of inflow. Eliminate your wants, excesses, things that are not necessary, and focus on the needs. If only it is necessary, then you get it. And then you also reduce your frequency of, probably as a woman, you know that, okay, every week I have to do my hair. So now you go to every month, I'll be making my hair. And then if you know that your wardrobe, every week I have to decor. Now you have to be modest and prudent. Every 2 months I'll be decking up. And then you just find like a consultant. Maybe your YouTube will be your fashion consultant. By the time you mix 2 shirts and then 3 trousers, you're fine. 3 pants, you're good to go. But most importantly is also looking for inflow. So after management, the next thing is inflow. And to get that inflow, you have to do away with preconceived notions about money, about finances, about people. Because I always tell people relationship is what makes you build financial capacity, not necessarily what you learned in business school. Relationship is key.
All right, okay. Over to you, Zara.
Okay, you'd agree with me that no matter how you try to eliminate unnecessary wants and all of that, even the basic ones, your feeding, accommodation, day in, day out, year in, year out, the prices are on the rise. E.g., it's almost as if every year in Abuja rents are increased. Now you go to the market today, you go tomorrow, the price of what you bought yesterday was different. So you can't say you want to eliminate food, for example, you can't eliminate rent. School fees is also on the rise. You can't say you want to eliminate that. Now, considering all of this, you've taken the elimination process, you've taken out things you don't want, but yet things are still difficult. And as a matter of fact, by the time you're able to cater for all of this, you don't have any reserve. And then a lot of persons when they are broke, they get depressed. They fall into depression. I think I'll reckon with that.
Almost everybody. Monaria. It's called monaria.
Sometimes your problem is not depression, it's money.
Monaria fever.
So in such case, speaking from your motivational speaker profession
and wellness coach profession,
how would you advise one to manage, or how would one manage such emotions to be able to go in line with the financial challenges?
Okay, I'm not a motivational speaker.
I should just
I'm an integrative wellness coach. That means that we help your mind, to be able to conceive and to be able to achieve the reality that you so desire.
Yeah, I think it's interwoven.
Is interwoven.
Yes,
right?
because in that line, you still what
Stir
you're
up
saying is
something
motivating
on
too.
the inside. Okay.
Yes.
The reason why I run away from motivation is a lot of people will just motivate you, and at the end of the day, you're wondering, what have I heard?
Yes.
What can how can I make use of this? So I try as much as possible to be very practical and to be very realistic. Okay, I like the fact that you've spoken about our basic needs. You cannot eliminate your basic needs, truly. And that is why I was talking about inflow. But first of all, you spoke about depression, and you linked it up with lack of money, the number one problem for every Nigerian is stress.
All right.
And financial stress is a big problem. It's
Yes.
a big mental illness. So when I tell Nigerians that I'm a mental wellness advocate, they say, no, I'm well. No, there is no Nigerian that is well. So how would I say, to cope with financial stress, it all starts with your lifestyle. It starts with your mind. It starts with you looking at your preconceived notion. Let me just break that down. A lot of people believe that money is never enough. And one thing from our research as integrative wellness practitioners, we discovered that the way you handle money is the way you handle yourself. The preconceived notion you have about money is the same preconceived notion you have about yourself. First and foremost, you need to understand that money is a force. The checks and balances that we see in our accounts is just numbers. The legal tender is just paper. Abundance in itself is a force. We as human beings, we're just, this body you've seen is a casing. The real person inside is spirit, energy, force. So if money is a force and you are a force, that means that if you want to set financial goals, if you want to eliminate financial stress, you need to start from here. What are your mental stress? What are your emotional stressors? And then what are your own personal goals to actually grow? Because when you grow, then you can begin to eliminate your stressors. Then you are aware of your stressors, you're aware of your triggers, and then you begin to eliminate them. So I hope I've not taken us into a rabbit hole, but it starts from there. When you're able to manage your mental wellness and well-being and things seem okay, then you can begin to think of ways out. And then you would actually find out that this thing I'm about to say, right, a lot of people do not apply it, but they know it. It's something that has to do with gratitude, because we know, even the good book, there are examples of when people have this gratitude attitude, things begin to multiply and increase. We've settled that money that we see is not legal tender. Money that we see is not the numbers in the bank, but it's something that is a force, abundance. Same thing with gratitude. So when you do that gratitude, when you exude that gratitude, when you embody gratitude, then you begin to multiply not just your finances, your relationships. I made mention of relationships. Very strategic relationships is important to making more money. So these are the invisible forces that actually help you to manage your stress, manage your own well-being, and apply the approach of a gratitude mindset. It starts from here. Then you now begin to set financial goals. Then you now begin to check your needs and your wants, and then you now begin to look for ways to get more inflow and develop strategic relationships.
And then you say you're not a motivation.
Do you mind her? That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so back to the stress you were talking about. I'll give you this example, this practical example. If you are living in Lagos, I'm going to pick up Lagos people now. If you are living in Lagos, you will not know you are stressed. You know, they're actually used to that stress.
Yes.
They are used
It's
to
a way of
traffic.
life.
Yes, they don't even know that they are stressed. You're spending 3 months of your life cumulatively in traffic, but you do not know. You wake up as early as 4 a.m., then you get to work at 6, 2 hours in traffic, go and come, and all of that. Then all of a sudden, you come to Abuja, and then you will not notice that
on the opposite side.
easy. It is then, after like some months in Abuja or some years in Abuja, you now go back to Lagos, and I see that, no, I can't cope. No. I would never believe I was born in Lagos with the way I said, hey, did I really cope with this stress? No, it's not possible that me of now that would say I don't like stress would survive there. So that means that a lot of people are living in stress but are ignorant of that fact. Now I will now go to the inflow of income. You were talking about inflow of income, right? Okay, so a lot of businesses, you notice that we used to have business trends. At a point, you notice that so business, everybody will be doing this business. There was a time they were doing organic, everybody organic cream. There's a time they were doing BBL. It would just go like that.
Or even hair.
Thank you. It would just go, everybody would now key into it. And you now notice that at the end of the day, you cannot really make your money out of it. And for women who really lack knowledge or wherewithal, I'll give you an example. I have so many business ideas, but I don't know how to go about it. I don't even have the knowledge. I even had to take courses, business schools, from business schools online. I still didn't have the idea of how to go about it to, get myself an extra, stream of income. And then there are sometimes they'll tell you do buy and sell. Those buy and sell at times can run you into loss, because it just looks, yes, it just looks good online and looks good when people are not truthful. That is not their source of income, but they use it to disguise, and they may not tell you the truth. So you just admit, there's this person selling hair, she has built house, she has built this. She probably is using it to disguise and doing other business behind legit businesses. I'm not even saying bad this thing. Or she probably gets royalty from family and friends and everything, and then you compare yourself. At the end of the day, you fall into some certain distance. So how do I earn some extra stream of income for myself to be able to manage my life, and even how do I even go about it in the first place?
Okay, now we're still going to go back to the wellness. I like the fact that you said, okay, there was like something, a wave of something happening, and people would jump on it, and that is what we call collective belief. So there's a collective every region, every territory has a form of collectiveness. You have a collective belief, you all agree. When this thing happened and some very famous person was bullied and the person passed on, before you know it, so many people came up, and then they were like championing the cause, justice for so and so and all of that. That was the law of collectiveness happening. And mind you, the universe is guided by laws and principles. So you need first of all to be aware of that the region you're in, this region that we call Earth, that we call the universe, there are certain laws. The law of gravity, the law of seed time and harvest, the law of abundance, so to speak. So if you're not aware of these laws, you definitely will misstep. You definitely will run and follow the trend and fall under the collective belief, which is a lower law. It's just like trying to defy the law of gravity with a lower law of maybe when you are on the moon. There's no gravity there, so definitely you can't defy. That's the same thing with collective beliefs. So therefore, for you to be able to earn extra income, first of all, you have to understand what are the laws of abundance, your own self. What are the laws that govern your mindset, your abundance mindset, your beliefs, your set of beliefs? What are the things holding you back? There are some things that hold us back. I was talking to a coach one time, and he said he doesn't know why people don't deliver, despite the fact that he gives them tasks and they don't deliver. And then we got to find out that so many of these people have things holding them mentally, holding them back. They have the fear of success, they have the fear of failure, they have the fear of information overload, stress of information overload. They have the fear of, I'll never be able to achieve this thing. Yet they want to achieve it too, but there's that fear. And when there is that I call it a mismatch, you will not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So first of all, you have to go inward. What is stopping me? The beliefs usually are the things that are stopping us. Those limiting beliefs are the things that are stopping us. Do you believe that you're not enough? If you believe money is not enough, definitely you believe you're not enough. Do you believe you're worthy of abundance? A lot of people don't believe they are worthy of anything. A lot of it. That's why we have people in relationships that are not working and they are still there. And they will tell you that they are hiding under the guise of religion. No, the church said we should. No, you don't believe you're worthy of more than enough. That's why you're still there. So check your limiting beliefs first of all, and then work on them before you even start a business in Nigeria, because the laws of the land will test you and say, are you sure you are worthy? When they hammer you on, when they summer you on, then you know how far that, okay, it's your beliefs that will help you stand. So work on that first. Put that first. And when you put that in front of you first, I think what would drive you more is making impact, making a difference more than profit. Because when making impact and making difference is driving you, then you want to build strategic relationships, then you want to build a legacy, then you actually want to do something to leave a mark other than money. And the money, it will flow. In fact, it will flow to your 10th generation. But your driving force will actually be making that dent somewhere in the earth.
Okay,
All
for
right.
the sake of time, I think we should take one more question, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, there are several ways several persons use to, or rather, several means several persons use to manage stress, manage depression, and stuff. Some people resort to alcohol. They feel like, oh, once they are drunk, they stop to think, and at least for the moment. And some people just give up completely. Myself, I like food. Oh my god, I like food.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever I have money, the first thing is to stock my house with food so that when the money runs out, I'm not lacking food. So when I feel a bit, I'm broke, oh, that is when I eat best.
Same
I will
here.
take my time and garnish that food.
Yeah.
So that's how I personally.
And that's when I
feel.
dress best too.
Thank you, too. I learned that one from my mom. In fact, she would dress and sit in the house. Like, where are you going to? She said, oh, I just want to be happy. So I'll wake up early, bath very well, dress very well, cook very nice meal, and eat and watch movies. You won't know I'm broke. So what are other? Do you have other easier and healthier steps you could advise people considering falling into depression to bring them out of such state?
Yeah.
And I love the analysis you made, because it was one of the things I was discussing earlier this year with one of the wellness coaches. Emotional stress leads to emotional eating and binge eating, and you eat all manner of things, chocolate. There was one time this week I was craving chocolate cake, and I've not eaten cake in 2 years.
How did you do it? How did you survive?
It's the job that I do. I
No,
subject myself to a lot of stuff. So before I know it, I'm doing away with some things.
No, not cake,
But
please.
I'm telling you,
Don't do that. I can do away with soda, right? I've been practicing no soda.
I couldn't ingest cake. I couldn't ingest sugar.
Okay, sugar.
So
Okay.
anything that has to do with sugar, as in if I just try to ingest it, my body would reject it.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't know.
So as in I programmed myself in that light. Like I wanted to do away with sugar, anything unhealthy. So for 2 years I've not eaten cake. But this time last week I was craving cake. Mind you, even fizzy drinks I had stopped it, and then recently I started again. And then I had to go back. I was like, okay, there's something happening. Emotional stress. You know, I'm planning something.
Yeah.
So there's stress.
Something huge.
so there's stress. So first of all, even those are coping mechanisms. Yes, eating, dressing well, and all of that. But how does that reflect back to you? Does that remind you that you're actually enough? Because when you tell yourself you're enough, you need pieces of evidences. So the dressing well is to say, no matter what I'm going through, I know I am enough. And I know it's just the phase. Look, as you just take a look back at 10 years, 11 years ago, you already know where you used to be. So those kind of motivation can actually make you dress well, look beautiful. And other coping mechanisms, apart from that, is simple. Your meditation, what do you focus your mind on? Meditation is simply focusing your mind on what you want to achieve, what you want to accomplish. Most times you need the help of a professional to do it, because there are steps to it, step by step, checking your beliefs, questioning your beliefs, looking for pieces of evidences and all of that. Your meditative practices, your deep breathing, your affirmations, the way you conceive things in your mind. So these are mindful, helpful practices, simple mindful things, being in the present, being here and now.
All right.
Being here.
I just wish you could go on and on, but
I really wish I could go.
Yes, but sadly we have,
We always have time constraints.
Yes, time constraints, and we could get a part 2. Yeah. Yes, we can get, because I'm really
I've
learning
been advocating for that ever since.
I know. So we would take questions from Wale Oguntoko and Ayodele Adedotun Adesami. Wale Oguntoko, all the way from Lagos, says, interesting topic. The remedy for stress is for one to take life easy and do and achieve whatever you are able to achieve, both physically and financially, and let the ones that you are not capable of doing or achieving slide by. The world will not collapse if you don't achieve them. Hi. That is really very, very punchy. Very punchy.
True.
Yeah. Then Ayodele Adedotun Adesami says, great conversation. My contribution is on how to make extra income. Money man.
You need it in this country now.
Yes,
There is a business
very
angle of every profession. The challenge is we all have fear of going into business because of the enabling environment and economy. What is your advice for people who would like to start a business? Okay, yes, I think she already talked about that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she already talked about that. And then you could just go to Ceci. What's your your social media handle?
All across social media, Ceci Towing.
Ceci Toyin. So you could just continue the conversation with Ceci Toyin. Just inbox her. She would be willing and yes, no.
Ready.
Just DM her. Is that not what they used to use? DM. All right, okay. So we've come to the end of today's show. We didn't open our phone lines today because we had a whole lot of things to talk about. All right, okay. So this is what we'll be calling it a wrap. Thank you so much, Ceci Toyin, for
My pleasure.
Yes, for coming around, and thank you, Zahra Abdul Kabir. That's my co-host. Thank you. Okay, so thank you also, Marvelous on Radio, for the technical assistance. So Marvelous continues with the morning drive. Do not touch that dial because, of course, the morning drive is always the bomb. Do have a pleasant Wednesday and join us same time. Babalola Ifeoluwa is saying, well done. Schools keep making us proud. Up GSS Gariki. Yeah. All right. Okay. Do have a pleasant day ahead.
No, that one. Leave it. Put it back on. This instant play. It's only the mic. No, it's too high.
I'm not hearing it.
Now here you go to that one. Where you want here?
No, I know this instant play will play for you. I know the year and there. See now.
You're not hearing it in the.
I know they hear the.
Hey, now the tell you now here you go control the volume.
You don't get my point. If you control it here, you'll be hearing it there.
Mm.
You'll be hearing that it's going up and down. That's what I'm saying. I'm not hearing the up and down there.
The up and down, I'm saying, is on this
Even
button.
if you put it loud, you will not hear it here.
Try it as
This one.
increase.
So the effect of this one now.
This one is just usually here. It doesn't get beyond this.
Okay, so now we
Point.
do the. All right.
It was such a pleasure. This one was shorter than the last one we had.
Yes, it used to look shorter. If the topic is interesting, it will be shorter.
Okay,
look
so
short.
we're going to take picture outside, right?
Definitely.
Please. I was asked to get your number so we could invite you for other programs. When
Oh
you
yeah,
have the
sure. My
chance.
pleasure. I don't know. I like talking a lot. When it comes to this thing, this is what I'm doing. Yeah.